Right, I'll go again.
That's the right way now.
Yeah.
Swans cast.
I think that's the right way, yeah.
Was it? I'll do it this way as well, just in case it's the wrong way you are.
No, it was that way's right, yeah. That way's right.
Well, this way. That way.
That way, yeah. Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Swans Cast. So we're going to be talking about Swansea's next game, which is going to be Stoke against Swansea, up in Stoke. I want to welcome Scott and Arid back, and also Amy has joined us again. So welcome back, Amy.
Thank you.
Becoming a bit of a regular now, so it's all nice to see. But obviously we discussed the last game the other day with Jordan, and that was a very interesting one to discuss and a lot of talking points. So we're kind of going to carry over, transition into the next game. So I'm just going to ask everyone then. I'll start with you, Amy. How do we move on from the last game and put that behind us and sort of like, I don't know, get ourselves re-going again?
I think as fans, we have to just look at the season as a whole at this point. Like, I know it's so frustrating and I'm finding myself being very negative, but we still only have lost 6 games, which is like so good, and that's the same as everyone else at the top of the league. Like, we're not all of a sudden, it's not going to change everything, but yeah, we have to try and just see it for what it is. It's been a bad couple of weeks and hope that tomorrow is a better day.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair enough. Scott, then, what do you think? I think you did watch the last game, didn't you? So you know all about it.
I did, yeah. So I was a bit drunk watching it, though, so that's why I didn't come on and watch it with you guys. So, but yeah, I think, like Amy said, need to be a bit more optimistic. As fans, it's still all to play for. It's still in our hands as well. We got 2 games in hand still, and if we win them 2, we go second. So if we continue, getting off the winning ways again would be good. But hopefully we can do that going forward.
Yeah. Hopefully, I hope you're right, and I hope we manage to put it behind us. You got anything to add, Alid?
I think it's been quite well covered, to be honest. When you actually look at the table, Norwich have lost 5, and Watford have lost 7. We're still way in this, I think, and this is still all to play for, to be honest.
Yeah. It's good to look, obviously everyone's mentioned looking at the bigger picture. When you look at the whole season, obviously this is definitely our worst patch and we've only lost 6 altogether. 2 of them are coming in the last 5 games. So I've seen a lot of people saying like, our form is really bad at the moment. I understand when they come from those perspectives saying our performances have been quite bad at the moment. But I've got something to add to that in a second. But our form, 2 losses in 5, is not bad. It's not like automatic promotion form, but it's not bad form. You're still winning more than you're losing in the 5-game sample, so we can't really say that's bad form. We obviously want to be better. When it comes to the performances, yeah, we have had a dip in performances of late. However, we did kind of rectify that in the first half against Bristol. I think that shouldn't be forgotten. We obviously went into that in the last video, and tiredness maybe affected it in the second half, which you can then link back to team changes, which I'm sure we'll get on to later on. But there's a lot of things to consider, I think, and there's obviously a lot of things coming together, maybe at the wrong time, which is kind of costing us a little bit at the moment. But if we look at the form then between the 2 teams, so Stoke being the home team, they've lost 3 and won 2 of their last 5 games. The last match was against Brentford, which they lost 2-1. And we have, obviously, as I just said, we've won 3 and lost 2 of our last 5. So quite even. Obviously, you could go into detail about who everyone's played and look at it that way, but it looks like it's quite evenly matched. We're going away to Stoke, and I believe Stoke's not really been a team that we've been dominant over of late. Could say a bit of a bogey team. I know fans in general don't like it when we play Stoke because we generally don't do so well. Former players like to score against us for Stoke. They also like to rub it in a little bit. But on that
Won't
note,
mention any names, is it?
On that note, Sam Clucas is not available. He's not available for this game, so that's positive news. And the other big one I saw as well was James McLean. And for us, Ryan Bennett won't be available, which is a big miss, I think. And Norton should be back, so maybe we'll see him. But having said that, Scott, we'll start with you this time then. If you're going to look for bounce back, a bounce back over the last game, what would you do with the team?
We need that commanding presence back in defence, I think. I know a lot of people have said that, there was a young team. I think in the last caster here, there was a combined age of 60 years old, I believe, in the Black Three. So maybe Norton back. I think Lee touched on last time where you think, okay, if one of them's fit, it's either Norton or Bennett will come in and command that back line. So I'm not saying Latty did anything bad that game. I think he's a really strong young player, but again, maybe one for the future. Hopefully bring in Norton for Latty, just to stable things at the back a bit. Bring in Smith also. I think everyone has been calling out for this for a couple of weeks now. He must be fit by now. He's been on the bench a couple of weeks, but then again, if Cooper doesn't bring him on, how do you know if he's fit or not? So definitely if he's fit, I'll bring him in, maybe for Dander. And then I would definitely change low up front, maybe Arriola, which is everyone's been calling out for that as well.
Okay, so while you've mentioned Arriola, I think it's a good time for me to talk about what Cooper said on that matter. So I don't know if you saw Arriola came out the other day to say, like, he wants to do all he can to help the team, he's ready, he wants to play all this, that, the other. As a player probably does when he joins a new team and hasn't been playing. Cooper then said in his pre-match that Arriola is not fit to start again. So I can't see him coming in. There was a couple of things in that post-match that, or in the pre-match, sorry, that are a bit, I don't know if it's good to hear, really. He also spoke about the tiredness. Everyone's saying about the squad being tired. I don't know if you've seen this, guys, but his response to the team being tired was basically like, if they are tired, they need to get over it. It's not an excuse, and they just need to make sure it doesn't affect the form. That's what is...
This is why... Yeah, this is why we blow out after 60 minutes. Like you said in the last game, like we played a great first half, should have been 3-0 up, etc. And when it hits that half time, we have a bit of a spurt then again, first 5 minutes or something, and then we just get tired.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same again. If he doesn't rotate that team, it's just going to be the constant occurrence now. It needs to change.
Yeah, he seems to be a bit, I don't know, maybe in denial. I don't want to be too negative about him, but I don't really understand the way that he worded that. He's always talking about the fixture schedule. I get his point from the perspective, like, it's the same for every team. But all the other teams are probably maybe doing a bit more rotation. So that's maybe why it's not affecting them as much. But anyway, Alid, what about you then? What team changes would you potentially look at for this game?
Probably similar to Scott, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think last game I enjoyed Dander being on the pitch. I feel like we looked maybe a little bit more lively, which we did call for.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I think it was mentioned in pre-match, there just seemed to be a bit of a gap then in defence with him on the field, I think it was. I think that's what he said. I can't actually remember.
Yeah, he's saying he doesn't do as much like the dirty work, I guess, as Felton and Smith might do.
Yeah, so I'd say maybe bring Smith in. I don't know. I can't see him rotating again, though. I really can't. I feel like he's just in this constant state of, I want these players on the pitch.
Well, he did make the changes for the Coventry game. Dander came in, didn't he? So he did change it a bit there. But Amy, have you got anything then? What would you do with the team then, looking from your perspective?
I think I would really like to see the original Grimes, Smith, and Fulton in the middle. We were at our best probably form-wise when it was those three, and I know you discussed in the last video about Horahan coming in and it's sort of unbalancing it a bit, and I would agree. And like, I know he's getting a lot of criticism, but he's also a player we could bring on, the same as Dander. Like, get to 60 minutes and it's 0-0, you need a bit of extra something, bring on Horahan or Dander, and maybe that would make the sort of the change. But I'm also really on the fence about Cabango at the moment. I don't know how everyone else feels about him, but I sometimes find he just like hoofs the ball, and it just sort of like, when you can see he's got time, I just want him to control it and pass it out, because sometimes I feel like we lose possession in the back. But so I would probably go with Norton coming in with Gehi and maybe Latibodiere, actually. So
Maybe he
bit
deserves a
controversial.
chance because he's not really had a run in the team. He's just come in where he needs to come in. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know whether Cooper will change it that much, but it's worth a shout. I'd give him a go, isn't it? I don't think he did anything wrong, really, in the last game. So
No, I think he's quite good. Yeah.
Is Bennett available?
No, Bennett is not available. He's still got a calf injury. Yeah, that is a massive shame. But it comes back to what I've said. Like, Eamon Norton obviously had these knocks. You should just rotate them. One plays the weekend, one plays the midweek. Give them a rest then, so they play one game a week, both of them, and you've always got that bit of experience. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is everyone calling for Manning as well? Sorry, just to jump back in there.
Manning is another talking point. Yeah.
It is another talking point.
Would you bring him in?
Yeah.
Yes, but I've been saying this for 3 weeks. This is the same story, isn't it? Is he going to change it?
Yeah. The one thing
he doesn't seem to
Bidwell
come off the bench that much either.
No, the one thing Bidwell did in last game was miss. Like
An open goal.
It's not really a sitter, is it? The defender did well because he touched it on for it to be a corner. It was just so frustrating because it just needed like a tap and it was a goal. He just couldn't quite get there. But I don't think he did really much else. I don't think he was part of any of the major attacks we did in the first half. Maybe he's just tired. He's had a good season, hasn't he? Bidwell has, but he's not the same. He's not been as like. He's had a good couple of assists, but early season he was looking like scoring a few goals as well. I feel like maybe a couple of games where Manning had a go, could see him freshen up a little bit, come back to the levels maybe we saw earlier in the season. But again, probably being a bit harsh. But it's just about you've got to rotate just to like. You just got to do it. And you just look at Man City. He changes things all the time, and they're still winning all the games. So anyway,
funnily enough, in the last game we played against Stoke, Manning was actually playing.
What was the result?
Really?
2-0. Goal by Fulton. I don't know if it's top bins or not.
Bins.
Maybe it might have been.
Was that flick one that he did? Where he flicked it?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah,
I think
outside
it
of
was.
the foot.
That was a class finish.
And then Palmer in the 80th.
I remember that.
87th, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we although
let's not talk about Palmer goals.
No.
It was 50-50 possession, but we had 18 shots on target. They had 3 shots, none on target. So
I wouldn't necessarily look at the possession for us these days because it's never usually massively in our favour. Quite often it's not even in our favour at all when we win in. So it was in the Bristol game because of that first half, but as we spoke about in the last video, it seemed that Bristol came to sort of come for a draw, and when they needed to score after they went 1-0 down, they're like, okay, but we're not getting a point now, so we have to attack. They kind of realised, actually, we can actually get some in here because whether we were tired or whatever, but when they started trying, that's what shifted the game then. So I think the best result would have been a 90-minute winner for us because I don't think they would have come out as much before, but whatever.
No.
So for me then, the team, I kind of like what you've all said, but there is one thing I would like to, if he's going to make a change with his refusal of bringing in Arriola because of his fitness, I think there is one solution that maybe could see us slightly tweak our formation and it could actually work quite well. I think it fixes a lot of the problems. So AU and Lowe, I think, need resting, but I don't think you can rest them both in the same match. So for me, I would personally rest Lowe first. Bring in the midfield 3, like you said, Amy, so you've got Fulton, Smith and Grimes. But I would also keep Horahan and play him behind AU. So there's kind of like a diamond, if that makes sense. So you only have the one up top. You've got a diamond in midfield, and then the rest of the system's the same. But I guess we're saying about that gap behind the strikers where Dando, whoever, would play, but they're not playing there as a cam. That would kind of fix that problem. The wing backs are pushing on anyway, so when we've got the ball, they're pushing up, they're pushing the line. So in terms of like Horahan being in the hole, you've got people to play it to. So I don't know what you think of that, guys. If that's
Well, it changes things, doesn't it? Definitely changes things, and it's definitely not going to happen because Cooper's our manager.
Well, he keeps saying he's got options, but then he never seems to
show
us what they are. So I'm intrigued to see what he's referring to when he says, "I've got options available."
I like your idea of packing it at midfield, though. That diamond does sound interesting, to be honest, and I would love to see it. So maybe you should send him an email.
Yeah, I just think if our midfielders are kind of the area where we feel like we've got the most quality, so we're getting more of them on. You're allowing then if you've got Danda or Horan playing, maybe they don't have to do as much defensive work because they're playing ahead of the other three. So maybe that could work quite well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of ways we could change it a little bit, but not too much at the same time. Otherwise, Manning is a good option to bring in. I'd like to see Arriola. Realistically, I think he'll probably either bring Smith or Fulton in for Danda, and Norton will come in for Cabango or Lati, and that's all we'll see. Okay, before we finish then, Amy, how do you make of... There's been a lot of calls for Woodman to be dropped. What do you make of that?
I think it's ridiculous. I honestly, I don't. Apart from the two losses that we've had, first of all, the reason we lost against Bristol was that we didn't score more goals. Yeah. Obviously, like you said, the last goal was obviously his fault, and the corner, I think, again, was a bit of a fluke goal. That's kind of world class.
That last goal came in the 97th minute. 97th minute.
Yeah.
So let's be honest, it didn't have an impact on the game. But yeah, carry on.
No. But yeah, the whole team should be kind of responsible for other things. I think the Huddersfield game is a bit of a write-off, but I think that the Bristol game was very winnable, and that's not Freddie Woodman's fault.
No, it was an error he made.
It's clean sheets,
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think it's over the top. His error, that he did make an error, and he has to acknowledge that. And I'm sure he will, and Cooper's acknowledged it. But every goalkeeper makes an error. Doesn't mean he should be dropped the next game. And that's just the fact is that error did not lead to us losing that match. So, it's a good time for him to make it, you could argue, because he'll learn from it now and hopefully not cost us. But yeah, I don't know, what do you make of it, Scott, Alid? I've seen plenty of people calling for it.
I think Amy idolises Freddie Woodman, so she's not going to say anything bad about him. Freddie Woodman, if you're listening, her name is Amy Clement. Give her a message. Anyway, no, I wouldn't drop him, to be honest, at all. I would keep him in. He hasn't done anything wrong at all, so yeah, just keep him in at all. All the way through the season. I'm not going to change it.
Alid?
No, I think it's stupid to change him. Look at the amount of times that he's stopped. Shots should have gone in.
And penalties.
And then, penalties, you name it. And then, in the last 3 games, how many goals have gone past? 7? But, come on. In some of the shots against Huddersfield, he couldn't have done shit about it.
No.
Just to be straight up, sorry.
Fine. I agree.
And then, that Bristol game, again, he made one mistake and it had no effect on the game. Okay, it's now 3-1, but that doesn't represent how the game should have gone.
Yeah. I will say as well, let's just point out his age. How many other goalkeepers in a championship or in the Premier League are that young, playing as the first choice goalkeeper? Obviously, he's not our player. He's on loan. We're obviously developing him for Newcastle, but at our benefit as well. But how many, most goalkeepers, the average age of a goalkeeper is generally higher than, at their peak than the normal outfield player. They usually go a little bit longer as well in their career. So usually breaking into the first team comes in your late 20s to be a first choice for a lot of goalkeepers. Yeah. Obviously, we get the world class ones that do come through earlier, but he's going to make errors and he's going to have to learn from them, and that's part of the reason why he's here on loan in the first place.
Yeah, I watched the video. Was it? I think the Swans official Instagram account put the video up of some of his saves, and some of them are spectacular. He is a very good goalkeeper.
Have they put that up since? Have they?
I can't remember when it was. It was recently. And you've only got to look at it to see what a talent he is. Yeah. I think typical Swansea people jump into conclusions. I think.
No, it is. There is definitely a lot of we have 1 or 2 losses and the world has ended. So
Yeah, I mean, I can relate. Like, it does a little bit feel like the world's ended, but you have to be practical, don't you, about how
exactly.
you go about it.
And if you put in your perspective of where you maybe would have seen our season at the start of the year, then we're probably either on par or ahead of where most people would have put us anyway. So we were going to have a bad patch. We all knew it was going to happen, that the wins would stop. We just need to make sure we keep our heads now, really.
Yeah. I was going to say, teams around us who are also in, a position to get promoted have also had similar spurts of poor form. You look at Brentford; they had 3 losses in their last 5 games. Reading have had 3 losses in their last 5 games. So it's at the point where anything can happen. I mean, it's a championship; anything can happen anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's have a look at our predictions then, guys. That's the best part. I think the last update of the table, I know Alid is obviously at a disadvantage because he joined later, and we will take that into consideration by the end. But we were thinking of maybe doing a forfeit for which one of us finishes last. So anyone got any ideas?
That's not very fair.
Yeah, I told you
have to buy a Cardiff shirt or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was going to be something like
team,
do an episode wearing a Cardiff shirt, I think was one of the ideas.
Nice.
But we'll see what happens with that. If there's any ideas, let us know in the comments. But yeah, Alid, obviously I know you're at a disadvantage. We will make whether it's an average points per game, or I'll just work out how many you were behind when you started.
Just his fault.
And add some points on. But I think at the moment you need to pick your game up. But like I said earlier, it's been a bit harsh on you because since you've come in 3 games, we've lost 2 of them, and I don't think anyone was expecting it. So you've kind of been dealt a bad hand there, in fairness. But yeah, plenty of time left. Let's start with Amy then. What are you going to say for this match? What do you think is going to happen, and who's going to score?
I think.
Oh, I think we've.
My Wi-Fi's gone a bit funny.
It's all right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
There you are, you're back.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, good. I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw, but I think we will see a better performance, so I think we'll be happy with it.
Okay. I think I would take a point away at Stoke currently, to be honest. But who do you think is going to score the Swansea goal?
Yeah. I think it's going to be Fulton.
Oh, Scott will like
Top
that
bins. Top bins.
Yeah. Well, he scored against them last time, and he always comes through when we need him. So let's hope.
Scott, what are you saying?
2-1 Swans.
Ooh, optimistic.
Optimistic. Always have to be optimistic because no one on Swansea Twitter is.
It's so
I'm gonna. Well, okay, fair enough.
Talking about Swansea Twitter, though, I'm just offended that we didn't get a seat at any of them tables last night.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that.
Yeah, I did see that your table won. So we'll just say we're part of it. Yeah.
You can come with me. You can get my plaster. Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, what was your prediction?
2-1 Swans.
2-1 Swans.
And it's going to be Fulton top bins because he's due a screamer.
Yeah.
And kabang goal.
Oh, you think he's going to start then? Did you say you thought... Oh, no, you said Latty to drop out, didn't you?
Latty, I said the dropout, yeah. So we'll see if he does start and he's going to come up with a big header.
With Cooper's history. Alid?
You put me under pressure now by saying I'm so far behind.
Well, this is
either
what you need
team
to
can win,
perform.
Alid.
If I have to wear a Cardiff shirt, I'll just cut it up after. Fine, like literally on camera, I'll cut it up.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
We can put that out as well. I'll probably get some views.
But, I'm gonna go with Scott. I gotta say 2-1. Yeah.
Just to let you know, guys, I am top of my Super 6 as well, so I am pretty good at these.
Have you won the money though?
Let's hope so.
No, because it's not all about money, Luke.
Just saying, if you won that the big prize, then let us know.
I will, don't worry.
I'm gonna go with some craziness here. I'm gonna go with Grimes, and I'm gonna go with Lowe, and hopefully he'll get back in some form with a goal.
I was actually.
He needs a goal. He really
Yeah, he
needs a
does.
goal soon.
I was
Yeah.
actually going to say that as well. I think Lowe might come and score, and he has phases where he scores and then don't, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saving it for the Cardiff game.
Yeah, probably.
another
Hopefully
2.
2 or 3. Yeah.
Okay, so it's tough. They did score against Brentford, but I think Brentford are a little bit more leaky. I'm going to be
They scored
optimistic.
against Norwich as well.
Yeah, you're making me doubt my decision. I was going to say 2-0.
It's
Keep
just
doing
bad.
it.
I'm
keep
going to
doing
say
it.
I'm going to say 2-0 because why not?
Sabotage him.
I'm going to
Yeah.
say Lowe to score, and I don't know who else. Connor Roberts, why not?
With another dolphin dive, is it?
Yeah.
Shamu.
Bidwell assist, is it, to Roberts, and then I don't really care how it goes in, to be honest.
Any off the toe, like off someone's elbow, whatever it is, just
Yeah,
in the
off
back
the
of the net.
referee, whatever. Well, I think
Perfect.
you'll have to do a drop ball these days, isn't it? That's the rule now. If it is the ref. So, but yeah, okay. Some well, considering the last result, we got 1 draw and 3 wins across the board. So hopefully, as long as one of us right, we're getting something from the match. Let's hope that that is the way. But obviously, we got the likes of Joe Allen, who probably is going to be starting. Let's hope he doesn't do a job.
What was happening?
Any last words then before we end?
Bring back Brewster.
Bring back hashtag. Bring back Bruce.
Hashtag.
Did you
Yeah.
see Chris Wilder speaking about him the other day, saying that potentially he needs to drop down the division to re-find his former confidence?
God.
So what do you want to do about it now?
furious.
January's gone.
I'm furious about that. Like, he's all we needed. He was our missing piece.
Just feel
And
like
he
saying
was
to
taken
him,
from us too soon, and it's
Yeah. it's like, yeah, mate, I don't know if you realise, but you're coming back down next year. Better start getting him ready. But okay.
What a team
otherwise,
they'll have in the championship, though. Oh my god!
they won't
Imagine
be
they
able to
keep
them
those.
all, will they?
Well, they got a hell of a forward pack for a championship team, haven't they? So
Well, they play like different forwards in like pairs every 3 games, don't they?
Yeah, they got loads. We could do with some of them, actually, so.
Yeah, well, I would
I'll
take
take any of them.
McBurney
Just
and
give us a
Brewster
name.
back.
Any of them.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for coming on again, Amy. Obviously, always welcome, and I'm sure we will see you again soon.
Yeah. Hopefully after some good results.
We're probably going to try and do the after-match live again like last time, so whether we see you
Nice.
here or in the chat, I'm sure you'll be around like before. Hopefully it's, like you said, a positive one to be speaking about.
Yeah. A couple of good results and it'll all go fine.
Well, we could have good results and other results go our way, and all of a sudden we're back in the same position as we were. But obviously, nobody knows, and that's why everyone loves football.
I know.
But yeah, cheers Alid and cheers Scott for coming as well. So
Yes,
as always,
thank you.
guys,
Thank you.
very much for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with everything we are doing. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and tell us in the comments where you think your team will be, or what changes you would make, because I think the team probably isn't going to change much. And let us know what you think, basically. And on that note, that's been it from us, so we shall see you next time.
Free Brewster.
Bye.